Alright, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Lost Hairline here, back again. And today we're going to be doing a video on how to tune some skis. Because the old Badgers could use a good old tunage and good old wax. And I definitely could P-Tex some of these holes, so I think I'm going to be doing that today. So I'm going to teach you guys kind of what to do, what not to do, kind of what works, what doesn't work. And just from my experiences and what I recommend. So basically that's going to be what we're going to do, and I'll kind of go step by step on what you should do and what you shouldn't do and just how to get her done. So let's get Alright, so first step we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get these brakes out of the way. So the best way to do this, I found, is just with rubber bands. See, these are some hefty rubber bands right here. So these bad boys will hold them down very mint. So that's going to be the goal, is to hold these bad boys down so we can get our wax on there. We can take off all that junk wax that's currently on there and make her clean up nice. So yeah, she should be pretty mint. We'll get up all angle, yo. Oh, mint. Alright, hold on. You just kind of got to finagle it. Get her around, go right around the beef of the bind. Oh, that could have ended badly. Alright, there we go. So, see, just like that. See how that runs right under there, holds the brakes out of the way of the edge, so that when you are waxing, you got a nice level surface right there. So, now we're going to do the other side. Beautiful. Alright, so now on to step 2. Alright, so like we said, we got all that done. I'm a pretty big guy on making sure your bases are clean before you start working on them. So I always use this isopropyl alcohol. Works pretty good. It's alcohol, so it does evaporate very quickly. So it's not like putting water on there, and it's just very, very light on everything. Of course. So I like to always clean in between some steps, especially at the beginning. So firstly, I always take one of these microfiber towels over here. Got one of these guys. Microfiber, nice and, nice for our doings here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our microfiber, just going to open up this bad girl, and then we're just going to give her a little bit. Oh, we missed. She's going a little crazy. All right, and then just kind of give her a good wipe. Just get any of that dust. It'll evaporate all those kind of any kind of little particles or anything that's on there. It'll kind of evaporate them away, and she'll be mint. So that's always what I like to do. I always like to do this just in case, kind of. I mean, it takes a little, goes a long way here. So that's what I was told in life. A little goes a long way. So we'll see what she does, but mint. All right, so we clean that up, and now you just gotta see it's already drying rather quickly. So yeah, all right. So now I kind of forgot to mention what you're actually gonna need for this. All right, so you're actually gonna need some stuff to get this done. So a good old metal scraper. I actually have a kit right here. It's on Amazon. This is pretty basic. It's called the Demon United. Complex. I wouldn't call it too complex. It's pretty basic. You got your we just got a plastic scraper, metal scraper, basically what you're going to be using. If you're going to be P-Texing, like I still haven't decided if I am yet. I might just be lazy not. You're going to need some wax, iron, like I said, the alcohol, just to clean the base a little bit. Just you definitely, because you want to get rid of a lot of those impurities. But for wax, I recommend this stuff, dude. Amazon special, Hurdle hot sauce. It's called hot sauce, bro. That's got to be good stuff, man. Not going to lie. And the wax that comes in this Demon United, I have used it. It's just not that great. It's good wax. It's better than having no wax, but I would recommend this stuff over any other kind of wax, as I've tried. So I mean, wax is definitely a subjective kind of deal where not necessarily everyone agrees on what's the best and what's not the best, but this stuff works. I will definitely give this a big old thumbs up. So yeah, that's what you kind of need to get her done. So now we're going to just hop right into this step right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start scraping. You take your metal scraper. This is going to be the only time we're going to end up using this. and we're just going to scrape along the ski and get all that crud off, which means this excess wax. You can see kind of here it's starting to kind of fall off. It's just excess that just from skiing the skis where this extra wax just kind of formed back here and ended up kind of fusing back here kind of deal. Same thing on this tip too, which I've had happen. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And let me see if I can set her up mint here. Oh, cherry. Let's just do her one-handed. Left hand, right hand will be mint. Alright, so you're just gonna want to take the sharp edge, kind of, full with her. It's not really directional. Just don't go, always when you're doing this, whenever you're scraping, don't go against, don't go horizontal like this. You always want to kind of go up and down, We're talking hamburger, not hot dog here, so. Alright, so I'm still currently taking off some of the dead wax, as I like to call it, or any other kind of junk that's laying on top of your actual base. Just a simple few tips I can give is you don't want to you want to get off all the dead wax, but I mean, as you see, my base is just black. I have a black base. If you're taking off like a lot of black, that means you're kind of scraping at your base, and you're kind of you're taking that infused kind of wax into your base. You're kind of taking that off, which you obviously want to get. But if you're just straight chunking your skis, I mean, you're going to end up filling in there. But just to make your bases last a little longer, you don't have to go that hardcore, because it's just not that necessary. Another tip that I would recommend you do is get your iron going, because if it's cold out, it might take a minute to get her heated up. So just kind of put that in a safe space. So I'm going to plug it in, and then I always like to turn it around the other way. So if I do something stupid and end up turning around and and just run into it doing something idiotic, that it hopefully will not burn me. Alright, we just finished up doing our scrapage. And actually, by scraping, I mean, the problem is, you can sometimes kind of tell how much life you got in your wax just by riding them. But I just kind of wanted to get a nice fresh wax in here, and this wax definitely had a little bit more time left in her. But that's okay, because there were some other underlying issues that we need to solve. So I covered a few little mysteries, some pretty gnarly little gouges. If you can see that right there, that's a hefty one right there. That could be P-text. I mean, it's not too deep, but it's still pretty cherry, and it probably should be P-text. And this guy right here, which I think I might have neglected doing last time, because I don't know, I don't have an excuse for it. But and then there's a few little jinky dinkies over there, but this definitely should be taken care of. If you got a gouge like that, it should be P-text. And just show you what the P-text is why this kit's pretty nice. Gives you a little P-text candle that you can use. This little candle. Basically just take a little know-how to her, and you'll get it done. So yeah, I'll show you how to do that, because I probably should, but the only problem is it kind of puts more time into this, so you gotta wait a little longer. Unfortunately, when it comes to whacking skis, the waiting game is probably the best game you're gonna be playing. So you just can't throw a layer of wax on her and get her going down the mountain. You gotta give her a minute. So yeah, we're gonna take care of that. I have a feeling that was some carnage from the glades, that the skis just did not like them rocks, man. But yeah, we're gonna get her done. Alright, so to do our little P-text, we're gonna need our trusty flame maker, and we're basically gonna light this girl up. I kind of need two hands for this, so this is kind of tough. I gotta think this one through before I just go in for the send. So maybe if I throw her up here. Oh, mint. Oh, shit, that's not good. My freaking iron's still on. Alright. Well, actually, I unplugged it. So, yeah, also unplug your iron if you're going to be doing this, because you're going to be waiting a minute anyway, so make sure she's off. But basically, for this, like I said, you're not going to need your metal plate, but you actually need it for this, because you're basically, just to demonstrate, you're going to be kind of pretend this is in one hand, and then you got this this would be my left hand. You're kind of playing that balance game, and then when you want to actually kill it, you just jam her in here. And that's how you kind of do it. Basically, just picture it like this. I'm gonna be having this candle probably. I mean, you don't want to put it too low where it's gonna burn it, but you want to hover it a good amount and kind of pour her in there. I mean, you don't want to go like hardcore amount, but you don't need to go freaking mambo wambo on it either. So, this isn't really an exact science. I'm just giving you guys the guidelines to how to do it, and just kind of it's kind of a learning situation, because I actually spent a lot of time looking at videos on this, and I just kind of learned the basics. I pretty much looked on YouTube for this too, so basically I'm copying what other people are saying, just putting my lost hairline twist on it. So that's kind of what we're rolling with. So yeah, let's get her. All right, so I'm gonna try to do this. I'm just gonna throw this. All right, so basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our lighter. Lighter is basically our purpose of that. Actually, I'm gonna do this on the bench just so I don't get random PTEX on there. Oh, come on, lighter. Gonna try to heat this girl up, see if she can get a. Also, doing this over the metal is a smart idea. So I've done this before. It's not too hard of a process, and if I can get it, you guys definitely could too. So just okay, so now we have our flame on it. As you can see, it is like a candle, because it is a PTEX candle essentially. So we're gonna wait for that to start dripping. See that drip right there? We're gonna want to essentially drip that into our base. Like I said, keep a nice steady handle of it, and then put it over here. And I'm actually gonna do this side over here. Yeah, we're set after that. So now we gotta kind of let this sit. We're in that spot, but that's kind of how she rolls. So I don't know how that clip came out, but I hope it came out good. But essentially, see, I can put it in there. I mean, people who know what the hell they're doing, like really good, can get it really nicely, but I always just kind of go with that, and then you got to end up scraping. I kind of miss this over here, but as you can see, it's already like cold to the touch. I ended up doing that over here. I could have done a few more spots, but that's just not very shallow. It just looks like it. Over here is kind of cheeched up, but it's along the edge, so it's kind of tough, but it's just picking your spot and then going for it. So yeah, so we're gonna give this a good 15 minutes to sit. Yeah, we'll pick up in like 15 minutes. You probably should give these a little longer, but because it's kind of already dark out, and I'm gonna try to get her done nice and early, or nice and bueno. And I think 15 minutes should be good. It's already cool to touch, but you definitely want to let these sit for a while. You definitely, time definitely is only gonna help you when you're doing this. I definitely in any of this, when you're letting the wax actually sit on the ski, even time's only gonna help you. So yeah, so I'll meet you guys in a little bit. Okay, we are back. I just waxed my dad's skis, as you can see. Just kind of wax them, and this should be good to go and ready to roll. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this metal scraper. You can just pop off all that residue and stuff from our PTEX candle, which I threw over there already. We're just gonna scrape it off. We're gonna scrape this, basically scrape it off, essentially, and whatever. Just scrape it even with your edges, because you want this to kind of become part of this base, as kind of that base repair. So basically what you want to do, if you do have to PTEX, if you're just doing a wax and your like skis are not, you're not doing dumb stuff like me, who just running over rocks and stupid stuff, then yeah, you should be good. But as you can see, these have probably been sitting for close to a half an hour now, and they're definitely pretty decent. So is this guy over here. So we're gonna end up scrape. We're gonna go give it a scrape, and yeah, so you basically just kind of do the same thing as you normally would. Just kind of scrape over it. You can see that black stuff coming off. That is that PTEX, and eventually you'll get all of it. Just take your time, be patient with it. Just take your time with it, man. It's honestly more better off if you do that than do that. It's just better off to do that. So I'll be back to you after I scrape these off. I'll show you kind of how it works and what it'll. All right, so we end up getting both of these guys. PTEX pretty well. didn't come out too bad. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty flush. You're not going to be able to get it perfectly flush. It's just it's pretty difficult to do that, but just get it pretty flush, and that's pretty good. Like, you can tell it's there, but it's flush. It's not sticking out. You just want to get any of that excess off. It's basically what you're doing with P-Tex. But now let's get on to the waxing portion. And we're okay. So as you know, these skis have been sitting for a while. And what do I like to do when they've been sitting for a while? Gotta clean them. You know, a bunch of those particles and just dust in the air. Little particles that, I mean, naked eye just cannot see, you know, have landed on these skis. And I just, you know, you want to always apply that, that wax with as little, or you just want to do your best to get everything out from these skis as you can get. Every kind of little imperfection, or any kind of little any material that's really on there, you just really want to spend a little bit of that extra second or two just to get these things wiped up a little bit. And it evaporates really quickly too, so it's not like it's too big of a deal. So you just give these a second for all that to evaporate, and then we're gonna start with this old iron right here and this block of wax. We're gonna get her done. First, we still gotta throw this wax. Has to go on the skis. Okay, so just to explain what I'm actually going to be doing, I'm going to try my best to get this on the camera, but essentially what we're going to be doing is I'm essentially going to take in this hand, which is going to be my wax, and in my right hand, which I'm using the camera for right now, is going to be, my pinky is going to be the iron, and then essentially I'm going to press them together, and that wax is going to melt. I'm going to essentially drip that all down the ski. And then I always like doing a quick run back here. You don't need to put that much wax on there. A little, like I said, a little wax goes a long way. You do not need that much wax to get the job done. We'll get into it. Okay, so here we are. We got our wax, we got our iron. Essentially what we're gonna do, our base is all clean, so we're all set to go. Essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our ski right here in front of us, take our block of wax. Be very careful because your iron is obviously going. Check your temp. I normally like to get it pretty hot. I mean, around 180 degrees Celsius, almost 200, 190-ish. And you're gonna want to keep, you don't want to be too high because you want this stuff splattered, but good distance above. And you essentially want to have this wax dripping down and kind of this S pattern, getting as much as you can get covered. Essentially what I'm doing right here, just kind of walk along the ski and just lay down the wall right there. And then once it's, like I said, a quick little drizzle, and then you're done. So that's all the wax that we're going to be using. Now comes this part where I can actually hold up. Let me cop the GoPro. Here is our skis. Essentially, we're going to take our iron and we're going to run it along. See how it's kind of like that? It's already hardened. It doesn't help that it's extremely cold, but this is hot wax on a cold base, which is going to kind of have that whole kind of frozen deal. You just want to work it. You don't want to hold your iron in a spot for too long. You just kind of want to work it in like how I'm doing. You want to kind of break up that hardened wax that's now on there, and kind of just work this in like so. You know, move it around. I like to keep the iron perpendicular with the actual base of the ski. I always do. That's just kind of form that I like to go for. It's personal preference, really. Honestly, you just figure it out. But I like also keeping the ski on this cardboard, so we're not just firing wax on the ground right there. It's already a little too late for that, but honestly, I mean, you know, and it's okay. Wax is going to drip off just in this process. It's just going to happen. So yeah, essentially it's just gonna happen. So just a natural process of the wax kind of seeping into the pores of the actual ski. Once again, you just want to keep moving it wherever you see. You want to try to get that nice finish, obviously, but essentially you're just trying to heat this wax. As you can see, it turns from that gray color to this kind of darker color. It means you're kind of melting that wax and it's kind of settling in. You're just trying to get all of your spots. You can see I'm moving it up and down. As I'm going, I'm just kind of working my way and kind of focusing on little spots and then moving on quickly and then coming back to them. You don't want to keep on the iron too long. I don't think I'd be ironing for more than 5 minutes. It's just not, number one, it's not needed, because you're by that point, I mean, your skis are definitely all set at that point. So yeah, just kind of keep coming back, working it in. Like I said, a lot of wax goes a little wax goes a long way. Just lift my wire up. Okay, fail. Okay, here we go. Just try not to keep it in one spot, because essentially you could burn your base if you're holding it. But I've also heard people, like some recommended, settings for irons is like 250 Celsius. And one thing about this Demon United kit is it only does go up to 200 Celsius. This iron that comes with it. But, I mean, honestly, it's plenty enough. You don't need to go any higher in this. And you also don't want to burn the wax either. That's why you're always kind of moving it quickly and not spending too much time goofing around with it. Kind of want that sprinkle. So we might go one more time down, and then we're going to go for our more final pass. I do see that the wax is kind of crystallizing, which does show me that we are a little hot. So just kind of make adjustments. It definitely looks a little hot since the wax is crystallizing. Or it's too cold, either or. I don't know. I'm trying to just kind of tell. I'm still experimenting with this, but this is the Lost Hairline way to tune your ski, to wax your skis. So essentially, this is just how you do it, man. You go on the fly. It's one thing about wax skis. It's not exact science. I've watched videos online, and when I would start learning this, I didn't have anyone to actually teach me. And essentially, you got to go out there and you got to go and do it yourself and just try it out and figure out what's gonna work for you. Essentially, whatever works for you is what's gonna work, and whatever works for someone else is what's gonna work for them. It's just kind of how it works. Yeah, but you can see I'm still working it in. So now I'm gonna go from one of my final passes. Waxing skis, it's just not very hard. So now I always start at the bottom of the ski. It's just what I always do. So I'm gonna start at the bottom of the ski. I'm gonna kind of get that wax nice and hot, and then I'm gonna take a nice slow for my final go around. I'm gonna take a nice slow, kind of methodical go at it. My freaking thing keeps getting stuck around this sawhorse. But that's okay, And then it's going slow and methodical. And then, boom. Alright. Then we kind of find the problem areas. You can see this right here is kind of chunked up, so that means we didn't really get our final swap around. So I'll kind of take the nose of it and kind of do our nice little final doohickey manicky and run that there. Other than that, I mean, it looks like we got full coverage everywhere, and it's obviously not going to look beautiful, and it's just, this is like kind of we're getting there, but we're not 100% there yet to getting this completed. We're getting there. So now it's time to go on to the other ski. This ski I would say is pretty good and done. And it should be good-ronied. Honestly, should be mint. Alright, we're back. And I just finished up. I just finished up my dad's skis, so they came out pretty well. Not too bad. Yeah, this is the finished product. It's gonna go from this to that. We're just gonna see how this is kind of not finished, and that's what you get when you brush it up. So nice and nice. So we're gonna work on this. So the first step, what you want to do after your wax has been applied, is you're gonna want to scrape. As you can see, these edges have wax on like the sides of them, and the just wax is poured over it and everything. You're gonna want to get that off. I always do it before. You're gonna have to do it eventually, or it'll just come off at the mountain. I always get it off right here. Use the plastic so it's not gonna dull your edges, because the plastic's not hard enough to dull the edges. So it's gonna wreck your plastic a little bit, but overall it'll be all right. So that's what we're gonna do. So, as you see, you just kind of run it nice and easy, and it'll just kind of pop off like how it is. It's pretty simple. And you kind of move something around. You don't want to go too hard so that you wreck your ass. Apologies for that. That's the old man out there. Just gonna work your way on the ski. Can't hear me right now. So that's all done. Okay. So apologies for the noise. My dad doing something in the garage, but as you can see, it is off. All that wax kind of off of that edge, which is what we want. So now we can start turning over, and we can start taking off that layer of wax. So yeah, just take off a little bit of this wax that's still on here, and then we can get to brushing, and then we'll be good. So I forgot to add what you're gonna need for this step. I sold my iron out brush, put that away, but you're gonna need brushes. I have these cheap Harbor Freight brushes. I got a steel, I got a nylon, and I got a brass. I think I paid like $3 for these. They're pretty cheap. That's what you need. You just need brushes, and you need this plastic scraper. Like I said, this comes in this kit if you do get it. So, pretty nice feature, if you ask me. But yeah. So now we're gonna get into stage 2 of actually waxing, or actually taking this wax off. So we're gonna commence. Okay, so basically what you're going to want to do is you want to take your actual plastic and just run it along these edges. You don't want to put too much pressure down in the middle, because then you're just going to be taking off that wax in the middle. And you want to leave a little bit of meat on the bone, kind of, per se. And you just kind of run along. It's okay, because you're going to end up brushing out the imperfections anyway, so. Just kind of get all of this. See this wax? It's on those edges right there. I don't know if you can really tell, but see where this is just a regular edge, and this is just wax here. So basically, you're gonna while you take this all around down, it's going to take off. See all that wax is coming up too as I go. It's kind of basically the thing. You don't. Okay, so you may be wondering when to stop. Basically, it's more of a feeling thing. You don't want to. In the end of the day, leaving more wax is better than leaving less, because your wax is just gonna last longer. You can take off a lot of wax, and then the wax is only gonna last a few times. So I recommend just going and getting all that stuff off. I think going and making sure it feels nice and smooth and it's not overly a lot. Because the brushes is really what's going to finish this, not this. So I'm going to get to it and show you how to do it. Basically what you're going to do is take 2 hands. See all that's coming up right there? All that crud. Hell yeah. Okay, so apology for the background noise. It's my dad's literally washing the gutters out right now. But basically you only need to this is pretty good. You can see there's a little marks in it from just taking off that top layer of wax. So essentially you only need to only 3 or 4 passes down here, taking that wax off, making sure none of that. Basically, once all that wax is off the edge, you're pretty good. You got a lot of meat on the bone there, and that's good for brushing then. You don't really need to go any more of that. So that's kind of what you want to do there for that situation. So that's what you want to do. Because you can see there's still a little bit of, still a little cheech left in her, so mint. Alright, so we have taken off our kind of wax here. You just honestly just run your hand down it, and that's a good tip I can give you. Just run your hand down it. Feels nice and smooth, and it doesn't, you don't feel any out of the normal ridges or bumps or nothing. It's probably pretty good. You can see this one other thing I like to do, just so I can really see any kind of imperfections, is have a rag. You don't have to use a microfiber or nothing, but just use that rag to help get some of that stuff and crud off. So you can kind of really see any of those kind of imperfections. It actually does help more than oh, that's an L. Now it's got all the cheese on her. Damn it. Well, yeah, it kind of helps you see any of those imperfections or anything. That's another tip. Use a rag just so you can see, because a lot of this is your eyes and your feeling. It's not an exact science, like I've said before. So yeah, like I said, rag is a good thing to have. And now we're ready to go on to the brushes. Of course, as you can see, it does not look right now. It doesn't look great. It does not look great, but that's why we have 3 different brushes, so we can bring out the actual and make this see that into that nice glossy finish. So that's essentially what we're gonna do. I do have a bit of a science for this. I like using the hardest bristle brush that I can get first, and then almost like sandpaper, you start with your lower grit first, and then move up to the less damaging stuff. So this thing will get my nylon brush is very, very tough, and it kind of moves away a lot of the larger debris that you may have missed. That's kind of the goal of it. It moves a lot of that larger debris. See, just nylon. Like I said, I got these from Harbor Freight, because actually this is one thing about this box, is it does not come with good brushes at all. And brushes essentially is going to give you that finish that you're looking for. And you can see I'm just going straight down it. I'm not doing anything special. Start at the tail, take it straight, nice and easy, straight, with actually a decent amount of pressure. You don't have to be freaking big man about it either. You just kind of nice and easy, good, enough pressure. And then you see what I'm also doing here on the sawhorse. I'm kind of hitting it up against it just to get all that wax out of there, so it kind of makes a better connection with it. But you see, I'm just kind of walking down it. Like I said, not an exact science to it. And I always like to do 2 passes with these. It's just what I always have done, and it's worked out really well. Depends how much wax you do leave on here, but 2 passes leaves a good amount with each brush. So that means essentially you're going to be making 6 passes total. And once again, I mean, I'm not a shop owner. I don't know really. This is just kind of the DIY kind of version of, with just regular old cheap stuff. that. I mean, you know, Amazon kit with some cheap Harbor Freight brushes, it doesn't get much better than that, you know. I don't have any expensive tools or nothing, so essentially that's kind of what we're working with. And alright, so we're gonna, that's why I also like to use a rag for this, so I can also kind of get all that cheese off of there, so then I can look and see, like you can already see it's starting to take that shape a little bit, starting to really clear out those little ridges. But now I like to use the steel. Steel comes next, and then we're gonna finish up with the brass brush. This is what's gonna take off most of that wax. As you can see, look, it's pretty abrasive. You just want to start on one side of the ski. See, as you can see, I'm on the software, so I'm cleaning it out, and that's essentially clearing out those little bristles, so you can essentially kind of clean it out, do a better job. It's gonna look that much better. And then all the way to the tip, and you are going to continue this one more time. So I'll meet up with that. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. I always do overlapping strokes too. See, this is our one pass, and now it's starting to take that shape. You can see it gives it that nice look right there, and it also really helps the performance of them also. So yeah, one more pass with this. Keeping nice medium pressure. You don't want to go too hard, but enough to keep it on there. So I'll meet up with you then. Alright, so now we're on to our final brush here, and it is the brass brush. As you can see, very not as harsh, but it's the really fine brush. It's really gonna give it that nice finish. You want to try to keep it as straight as possible, so you can really give it that nice finish, and also is going to help with the performance of the actual ski and the wax and how effective it is. Obviously, having, you know, this kind of style of brush it's not meant for this, but it's definitely not as good as having a flat brush and just being able to do one pass each time. So if you do, that's probably my next investment that I'm going to get when it comes to waxing things. It's going to be a better set of brushes, because these are just not too mint. I will say that, not very cherry at all. Oh, my freaking hands in the thing the whole time. Would you look at that? Well, it'd be all right. So after one, sometimes I only do one pass, sometimes I do two. Depends on how it looks and how it feels. If it feels like it could use another one, then I'll do another one. But sometimes I've been doing it, leaving it. Yeah, and this feels good right here. I don't want to go anymore. It feels pretty freaking good. Just give it a feel. If it still feels like really slick, and like your edges, the base doesn't line up the edge very well, then yeah. Alright, so we just finished brushing this up, like I said in the previous clip. Now I'm going to go through and we're going to brush this one. It's pretty much the same process. I'm going to brush it, and then I'm going to join you guys back, because I kind of showed you guys already how to do it. It's the same thing. Repeat it on this other ski, and then you'll be all set and ready to roll, man. So yeah, that's basically the Lost Hairline way. It works pretty cherry, not gonna lie. I would recommend it, because that's what I would do. Just saying. I can't keep my fingers out of this shit. It's pissing me off, man. It's not bueno. But yeah, we'll finish up with this, and then we'll go and I'll say some like tips and stuff. So let me finish this up. I'll show you the final product, and then what do you mean? Alright, so we just finished waxing both skis. Came out pretty well, actually. As you can see, a few of these little spots right here, as you can see that, it's like that white. That just means, basically from what I've taken from it, I just didn't get the iron, I didn't melt it in enough right there. So that's just, like I said, this really exposes where your mistakes were made when you do end up doing your final brush and everything. It really does expose those little problem areas. The tips are always kind of difficult to get, but it came out pretty well. So those are basically the steps. Basically, I mean, basically just need basic materials. Once again, very, very happy with how these came out. And yeah, I mean, the bottoms definitely look a lot nicer than the top sheets. So let's give these a flip. Oh man, look at that. Some of this is wax, some of that's just wood, you know. I tell you what, man, I'm definitely gonna do a season review, and it's gonna look like this just because that's the wax and stuff on there. From there, it'll come off when you actually ski them. So aesthetically, it may not look fantastic after on the top sheet just because of that wax that's sitting there on there. So essentially, that's kind of the dealio. Yeah, and you can take off your rubber bands and you're, yeah, so take off the rubber bands and you're, I don't know what that is, but you're ready to roll, man. So basically, that's how you wax your skis, man. It's pretty simple, as long as you have, I mean, this Amazon kit basically gives you everything. Only thing I'd recommend if you are buying this kit is buy some brushes, just anywhere, because this is the brush it gives you. And I mean, if you're it's a brass brush. I mean, how much are you actually gonna be getting there? I mean, come on, man, what is this? But overall, it comes with everything you need. It's got some edge tools in there too, but I just haven't figured out really. I like to do that. You don't want to do the edges too often because you don't want to run out of edge material, base material. You can, of course, you don't run out of that either, but essentially waxing is protecting that base material anyway. So yeah, basically that's just about it for the video. So I mean, came out really well. You know, the skis looking good. I'm actually gonna go to Creek tonight, most likely, or soon, and yeah, we'll see it from there, and then we'll actually ski these. So maybe I'll see you guys in the mountain today too. Maybe I'll put a video up. Who knows? Big question marks everywhere. But thank you guys for watching this. I do appreciate it. If you want to see anything stupid else like this, I mean, it's not stupid, but I like doing these how-to videos showing you what I've learned from doing stupid stuff, and what not to do and what to do. I kind of know now because I've messed up quite a few times. So I kind of have a pretty good grasp on what to do, because you're gonna end up making mistakes, and so yeah, just accept that you're gonna probably mess something up, and then just remember it next time and keep building off it, and then eventually you get it to a point where, right now it's pretty perfect, pretty ideal. Definitely is a lot better than they were. So yeah, definitely stoked. And freaking thumbs up to that, Chief.
I'll hit the box for good measures. Dude, the thing just black screened in the back.
It does that after a few minutes. Say battery.
Alright, you ready?
Alright. What?
You gonna end it? Or you want to do follow cam on this jump?
As you can see,